When I was born, Al Gore was just a gleam in the internet's eye.
My son will grow up never knowing a world without the internet.
Right.
It's craziness.
I know.
Brooke.
Kids these days, I tell you. Unlike us grognards.
Yay! Brooke, tell us what's happening on the internet.
Well, right now it's still the review playback of Red Dirt D&D.
Is it a commercial?
A&M.
I got a commercial.
You have a commercial. Maybe.
Good. There we go. Hey, is that us?
Is that us?
Oh.
Not to quote another show, but are we on the internet?
We may be on the internet.
Hey, interwebs. It's a series of tubes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Payne, Brooke Bullock, Plausible Deniability. Brooke, who do we have here as our special guest tonight?
Tonight's special guest is the...
It's Michael Cross. I spoiled it early. It's Michael Cross.
Michael Cross.
Woo! That's outstanding. Oh, if you don't know who Michael Cross is, I don't even know why you're watching this show, but stay tuned because you'll learn.
I know why they watch this show.
You might know him. Michael, go ahead. If you don't mind, to put you on the spot, how might they hear you in the morning? Like, what would it sound like in the morning?
Good morning, Oklahoma. Live in the KOSU studios. I'm Michael Cross.
See, Brooke, it costs us $500 every time you ask him to do that. You got to stop. You got to knock that off.
But if it's shorter than 10 seconds, it's fair use.
Right. Public domain.
I get up at I don't know, it's been up 1:30 this morning. I got up at 1:30 this morning and go live at 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and I got a message the other day from a listener who was like, really enjoyed the fact that I do the KOSU Daily, which is one of my other podcasts that I do, which kind of wraps up all the local news for you on KOSU Daily, and saying how much he appreciated it. I'm like, thank goodness, because otherwise I feel like I'm just talking into a microphone and no one is listening. At least with Red Dirt D&D, I can see downloads, and I can go, oh, right. See, people are actually downloading. And
you can see numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Right on.
Oh, that's fantastic. If you don't know Michael Cross from KOSU Radio, then you might also know him as the voice of
the Okie Geek Podcast. Oh, right.
Yeah. Spoilers here. Spoilers from here on out.
Beloved Paladin.
Let's. Who we got in the chat? Let's give it 5 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we'll drop some spoiler bombs.
Right.
Then we'll drop some.
I'm gonna Brooke.
I am also a co-creator of Red Dirt D&D, along with Ash. We got together back in, I think it was actually December of 2019, in the before times.
Oh.
When no one had, well, I think there was just rumors of coronavirus, and decided to come up with this thing where we're going to make a Oklahoma-based 5e Dungeons & Dragons actual play. And
woo!
They had created a paladin that was the Oath of the Silver Star, and I said immediately, I want to play that paladin, and knew exactly the kind of character I was going to make, for the most part. He went back and forth on his race, but eventually settling on half-elf. But I knew that's who I wanted to play. And then when we had the auditions and you guys showed up, I knew we had a hit. When I heard Brooke and Johnny and Kiri all playing together, I was like, that's it.
The click was thunderous.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Clicked together, yeah.
And then I think when we first got together, we were just going to we wanted to record, just to kind of test record that pilot episode.
Yeah.
And it started turning into an actual episode. That's how quickly we all gelled.
I remember somebody saying that. Somebody said something to the effect of, okay, so when are we gonna like record the real thing? And there was this long pause, and it may have been you, Michael, that went, I think we just did. I think that's the pilot.
Well, I remember I had asked Ash, I was like, oh, cool. So between now, because it was like we kind of that thing, and then it was like, okay, the first recording session is on X date. And I said, okay, cool. When are we going to meet up between now and then to make our characters that we're going to play and get the table synced up? And Ash was like, oh no, you're playing the character you auditioned with.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, here we go.
The only change we made from the auditions was Brooke's accent.
Yes. Mokrin was originally Russian, as we have talked in past.
Yes, Mokrin was supposed to be more Russian type of, and we're like, that didn't quite work, because we were trying to pull away from any kind of Eurasian type of characterization, because I think rightfully so. If you listen to most D&D, it's set in Eurocentric type of situation. We wanted to go away from that. So you coming in more with a southern dwarven accent, I think worked a lot better. And especially the idea that we're doing a dwarf without a Scottish accent, whoa, that's mind-blowing.
I don't know how to do this.
There were some early episodes in which I had to leave myself notes to say, yes, sir, instead of I, because I started becoming actually, that was like, he had to be, yes, sir.
Right. You're going to play a dwarf? Oh, well, work on your Scottish accent then, because that's what everyone talks about. Everyone does a dwarvish like that.
Have you ever played a dwarf, Michael?
Yes, I played Flint Battlehammer.
Yeah,
he was actually related to Bruner Battlehammer, a distant cousin from up in Icewind Dale. And,
right.
Yes.
And his name's Flint from Dragonlance. I mean, you got it all in there.
I was just going to say that merging of those two, Flint Fireforge, and
maybe that's where I got that. Okay,
maybe
so I was like, where did I get that name? Dragonlance. I haven't read Dragonlance since I was my son's age. And I've never. I want to. At some point, I'm going to pick the books back up and reread them. But they are stuck in my subconscious.
Oh yeah,
very much so. Because every time someone will mention something, like I'll be listening to someone talk about Dragonlance, they'll mention Kinder, and I'm like, I remember Kinder.
Yeah.
I have completely forgotten until that very moment.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But it's all sitting in my subconscious. Flint. I'm sure Flint is probably from.
Now you got to get into the Dragonlance, get more, up to date on it, because Tracy Hickman just did an interview recently, and he dropped the bomb of next year the trilogy starts. The new trilogy starts fall of 2022.
It's gonna be
Dragons of Deception, I think.
Prequel. It's supposed to be something of a prequel.
Yeah, I think it was going to be. It's not set in exactly the same time as the original, Chronicles. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get to this part. But so real fast disclaimer for those of you who usually watch us on Thursday nights, know that we're very chat interactive. We can't make this show what it is without the chat being there, yelling at us, making fun of Brooke, complimenting my hair, the things that you guys do on Thursday nights. We are paying attention to the chat, and we are going to get to your questions, but it's going to be closer to the middle to end of the episode, because tonight our very special guest is here to talk about not only the great sound and Foley work he does on the show, everything you hear is this man right here, but also he's going to talk to us about the events that transpired between episode 68 and episode 70, where we lost a hero, a father, and a brother, Gideon Block.
That was Ash took off the kid gloves.
Did you know it was coming at all? Were you just as shocked as the rest of? Because that's a big question. We always get with the show is how much of this is scripted. Surely that was planned. You must have known. And even I, sitting at the table, was like, did Michael and Ash talk about this yesterday, last week, last month, oh my God, what's happening? And then I could start to see that it wasn't. It was purely organic. But so go with that. In your mind, did you ever think you were going to have Power Word Kill pop up?
No. No, power word kill. No, I thought there was a possibility, and Johnny, you and I had talked about that more than like, I think during a round table that we were. Oh, how do you see yourself? Somebody had asked that. One of our patrons had asked that. Where do you see yourself by the end of this? And both Johnny and I were like, oh, we're dead.
Dead. Mm-hmm.
There's no way we're surviving this. But I thought it would be, some dragon would swoop down or something. I'd die some, not power word kill, and certainly not very Tasha Yar like where I'm just.
Yeah, my thought was it would be a famous NPC that people have grown to hate is who would kill me, not what's his face, like who killed Tasha Yar? That oily dude,
That oily guy, yes.
Right. Now, of course, he's going to grow into a bigger part of the story from this moment on. But that was even more of a shocker because I expected if anybody was going to go down anytime soon, it was going to be at the hands of bad rolls in a giant monster or Wily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured. And so, and the worst thing is, I think the worst thing is when it happened, I immediately thought, and I'm still thinking, of all the things that I did wrong. All the things I should have done that would have fixed it. One of them is what Ash calls the Paladin ping. If at any point I had done where the Paladin can find undead and fiends, then Fortunato and Serafina would immediately have gone off. And I would have gone, okay, wait a minute. We're out of our depth. Because if you take a Lich, a Rakshasa, a Steel Predator, and whatever the heck Wily is, even just the three of them, it's a CR so high that 4 or 5 level 20, it's deadly for level 5 level 20 characters.
Yeah.
So if that had happened, I would have immediately gone, okay, no, we got to get out of here. The other thing I should have done is I only had 2 attacks against Fortunato. If I had used 5 fake chips on each of those, crit attack with a second level smite on both of those, second level smite, and with a crit, you can do about 70 plus damage on each attack. I could have taken him down.
Considering though his legendary actions and legendary reactions, what he'd used, what had already regenerated for the round. Because, I mean, he was knocking some stuff out of the air.
That's what I'm saying. 2 attacks, I could have killed him without him ever being able to take any kind of action or reaction. So I could have killed him, but I thought, we'll just attack him a couple of times and see what happens. I did not expect no, you're dead.
Right, yeah.
And the music that I found for that choir sound of and you could just, to me, imagine him truly just falling back almost in slow motion. But already by the time he's already been touched, by the time he's starting to fall, he's gone. And that's hard to play. And the fact that our banishment thing didn't work, that was really stupid.
No. Yeah.
We should have played along until we could all just get away. That's
you're talking about how you could have sensed his presence, and I think Ash was trying to drop those hints with, you feel this overwhelming, powerful magic,
right?
And it was like, well, we're also seeing and experiencing what I consider to be overwhelming, powerful magic from Wily, and we dated. So it's so there's a Wily here that's wearing a robe. Okay, cool. So it was very, for me, it was the mistake I made was it was too easy to dismiss. It's like, I've seen Wily catch a spell or two in his hand and just crumpled up and laugh as it's being cast on him, so, what's going to, so it seemed like it would have took more to scare me away, because it'd be like, there's just 2 Wilys. But I think those hints dropped, with the sense of the powerful undead, not just undead, powerful undead.
Yeah.
And at that point,
go ahead.
We bail and get another Connor, because because he would have been gone.
Yeah. Although if we'd gotten out, then Connor had an escape plan the entire time.
Yeah.
So
right.
And so
very true.
The neat thing was so I've been an actor since I was actually a baby. My mom and dad were theater majors, and they actually brought me out on stage when they needed a baby on stage.
Were you the Gerber baby?
I've been since I was a little kid. I've been playing, and I have never had a death scene in all my years. And I've done Hamlet, I've done Romeo and Juliet, and I was one of the few characters that didn't die. I played Osric in Hamlet, who doesn't die. I played Benvolio in Romeo and Juliet, who doesn't die. And so I've always wanted a death scene. I've always, in my entire career, I've always wanted a death scene, and I finally got it, and it sucks.
Because right. I think someone mentioned that Matt Mercer always asks, what are your last words? Like he did with Molly Mock, and Molly Mock just spit, But it's instantaneous. It's Avada Kedavra. There are no last words. Oh, yeah. You're just flumping down to the ground, and for sure.
And it was so harsh, and we were just shocked. I think I was kind of metagaming in reverse, thinking there's no way that it's anything that big. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be something that's going to be a challenge, but that we'll be able to handle. And even then, whenever Fortunato's hands are revealed in the spellcasting moment, even then I'm thinking it's a spellcasting mummy? Like what's? I mean, I completely oblivious.
Like
right.
Yeah.
Not a lich. And once it was revealed, once I went down, and we had talked about it.
We were convinced he was Yuan-Ti.
Yeah. Well, as a cast, we were talking about how a TPK wouldn't work for a good story. But the death of one person is huge, and it's like that in many fantasies. As we talked about in the longer roundtable, for those of us who are patrons who got to listen to the roundtable, it's like Boromir in Lord of the Rings. It's like Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. So basically, Gideon Block needs to be played by Sean Bean in the movie because apparently,
absolutely,
someone show up and be a main character. And then just all of a sudden die.
Absolutely. So there was a moment where, looking behind the curtain, we record these episodes in clusters of 3 or 4. So we recorded this episode and took a break, and we were going to record the next one, and we're all looking up spells. What can we do? Is it still too late?
Yeah, right.
And this was the moment I realized this wasn't planned, because I was seeing Michael frantically thinking, what can be done? And so I'm like, wait a minute, this seems like an arc-ending moment. And I ran down the hall and grabbed Ash and said, did we just level up? And Ash glanced away for a moment, came back and said, yes, you did. So I run back down the hall into the studio, and I'm like, hey, we just leveled up.
Yes, you can.
Poppy should have this spell.
Like, guys.
Michael got this look of hope on his face. We recorded 69 where we got the heck out of there.
Yeah.
And then we had 70, Michael.
Oh, that was... Poppy had a plan.
Poppy had a plan.
It was a great plan. I was excited about it. I was a little bit worried about what... so at level 9, Poppy has reincarnation. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, reincarnation, either you randomly roll for a race of... it's the common races. It's not... I wouldn't come back as a jackalope or anything like that. But
better not.
Or DM's choice.
Yes.
And so I was a little bit worried about what I might come back as. Like, I don't know if I want to... There's some things I don't necessarily want to come back as.
The party only needs one kobold,
Yeah. But I thought, okay, well, let's give this a try. And that was harsh when Ash gave me the choice of you can go back, but you can never leave. You will be a wandering spirit forever. You will never be able to be with Karen and Caleb, which is weird because I thought about this later, and I think of a lot of things like in Star Trek: The Next Generation. I always,
I'm listening.
Tasha Yar and stuff like that. So Will Riker was oftentimes offered his own command of a ship.
Yes.
And Will Riker never took command of the ship because that would mean Jonathan Frakes was no longer on the show.
Right.
You don't want to do.
Right.
You don't want to get your Kirk character off the show, so you'd have to have excuses for why he never took command. And that's what I would normally think of doing. It's like, well, yeah, Caleb and Karen, who cares? Gideon gets to stay on the show. That's the important part. But I couldn't stay true to the character.
Right.
Right.
And so, and I didn't know. I was given the choice. I said, "Can I talk to them?" And then when I realized I was talking to everybody, I was like, "Oh, I have to make a choice now."
Yeah.
And the choice did not happen until the words came out of my mouth. And
I
was allowed the character to do it.
Yeah. That was absolutely brilliant, and allowing Gideon, quote unquote, to make the choice was exactly right, because I just remember we had this plan. It's working. Everything we need, and then Ash, Dusk through Ash says, but you'll never have rest and never come into my realm again. And immediately, as a player / audience member, I immediately was just like, whoa, and like looking back at you, because I knew that was it. I knew that there was no way that Gideon could choose those of us who he's known for them.
Yeah, that's when you realize the character is making the choice and not the actor.
Yeah.
The actor, I would have said, well, I don't, the actor truly does not know who Caleb and Karen are. I know who these characters are, and I love these characters, so I want to stay with them. But I love the fact that Curie did specify, okay, if he chooses to live, and she just put it all out for Ash to kind of go, that's exactly what it means.
Yes.
And
yes.
so so once I realized Gideon's not going to make that choice, that would crush Gideon more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So in the span of 100 minutes, we went from all of us in shock that Gideon died, and I almost want to wonder if there's been a few times where I've wondered if Ash was just kind of shocked herself, because there was a point where they said once the power word kill was done, it was like, how many hit points do you have? And you gave your answer, and it was nowhere near 100. It was like, oh, well, less than 100, and you die. And it's like, did you know that was going to happen? Did you mean to do that? Was that an accident? But we went from all of us in shock that Gideon was gone to this moment of, it's great, we're going to bring Gideon back, and it's going to be so awesome. And I was in it until that moment of, I've made my choice. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then, that was like, we've heard it from people in the chat even right now, and we've heard it from people who have communicated with us in other ways. That was a moment when at the table we were all truly like, this grief came on us. We were like I'm gonna go home, and we were just all like,
I was a blubbering mess. I'm not gonna lie. I'm man enough to say it.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
You can't be a good actor unless you can cry.
Right. Yeah.
I think you'll understand what I mean with this. Like, talk to us a little bit about Karen and Caleb, and like what their life like behind the scenes prequel before in Venturis. What was that like, and why dumb question, why were they so important to Gideon?
Oh, well, just because for Karen was my grounding. After I had left the Caliban frontier, Karen was somebody that grounded Gideon. and made him a better man, without a doubt. And then, of course, gave him a son. And so it wasn't a long period of time they were together. It was probably only about 4 or 5 years, but long enough to where, again, he was a better man with Karen than he'd ever been before or would ever be after. And
True.
So that's why as soon as she died, he crawled into a bottle for
Yep.
14 years.
Yep.
And that's like, I tried to, it's really weird to play D&D and to play a character that doesn't drink. Because everybody drinks. I mean, especially with the first thing we did, like that. The first thing we did was go into a bar. And I'm like, the first thing we did was do that toast. I'm like, I don't drink because I'm an alcoholic. You know, yeah. Gideon's an alcoholic. So playing an alcoholic in D&D is really a weird character choice. But that was the whole idea. Was he was finally getting clean and sober, and but before that he was a really good man. He was a great private detective. He was although I think he's still a great private detective after he started drinking, because he was just one of those 1940s noir type of functioning alcoholic. That's how I pictured him. But yeah, to Karen, that was the family life that he always wanted. He'd always wanted with his mother and his father, and that went away too soon. And so that was a loving, caring relationship. And again, loss of her just drove him insane and made him a killer also. Remember,
Goblins on the train.
Yep.
Yeah, first time we meet him, he ends up blowing away a little goblin.
Yep.
And you know, we changed that. This character made so many changes. It was really harsh. When I created this character, though, Karen was already part of the character creation. Because y'all want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Everybody, listen to the chat, because we're going
We
to
have an
finally find out
exclusive.
where Gideon Block came from. Because I was really upset that no one guessed it. Gideon Block. There was a clue in his name of who Gideon Block is. Gideon Block is based off of the seventh sign. I believe that's right. It's the seventh sign, which is a Max von Sydow 1957 movie. It's black and white, where he's playing chess with death. And that's the scene everyone knows, mostly because of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. But he plays. The idea behind the entire movie is this knight. And actually, I don't remember his first name, but his last name is Block. And the idea is he's a paladin. He's a knight that is playing game of death. He's playing a game with death. And the entire time it's leading him towards death, but he thinks he can cheat death the entire time. And so Gideon Block was created with that. And Block's characters in the movie, his wife's name was Karen.
And, nice.
Caleb, I just kind of came up with it. It sounded good in Western. But Karen was his wife's name. And so I already knew that that's where I wanted it to be. Although in the movie, he ends up getting back to Karen. And then, can I spoil a movie that's 70 years old? Then they all die at the very end. And yeah, at the very end, they are dancing through the field toward their death, and they call it the Danse Macabre.
That was just, you were leading me there. Go. Yeah, because you have that conversation, and I knew it came from somewhere else. You have that conversation with Dusk where you say, go ahead.
Continue the Danse Macabre. And that's where it was okay, Dusk and I have been playing this game the entire time. Finally, it's like, okay. And then, it was already really, I thought, perfect. The fact that I got to say goodbye to Connor and to Mokran and to Zonimus and to Poppy. Saying goodbye to everybody was wonderful. Turning back to Dusk and recognizing Dusk as this beautiful lady, because he at this point accepts death, not as an evil, not as a bad, not as a horrible thing, but as a beautiful lady. He says, I'm ready to go home. And Ash perfectly says, the dance ends. I'm like, yes! because Ash was the only one who knew where this character came from. And so, for everybody out there, Antonius Block, thank you, Kinder Thulu.
Woohoo!
Antonius Block. And that is where Gideon Block came from. And I figured somebody might say something, if anyone was a big film buff, because I had seen that movie right before I created this character. And I was like, that's the character I want to play. And we get to episode 70, and that was it for Gideon.
But it was, one of the most beautiful things, and again, we're all blubbering again in studio. Like it's weird how fictional characters really make you feel emotion.
Yeah.
But it was so wonderful that Gideon got to say goodbye to each of us, because otherwise it is a Tasha moment. It is an avacadabra and boom. And it was so great for his spirit to be able to come back into the room and your role play changed Makran's arc, because already in my head I was processing that innocence is going to be lost. He's going to go dark. He's going to get vengeful because of what happened. And then Gideon says, it's not your fault. You're okay.
Yeah.
Tasha Yar had the foresight to pre-record a hologram in the event of her death that she probably updated weekly based on relationship status and who she owed money to and things like that.
Specific stuff. She must have had to written that.
It was ridiculous.
But it was right after we were mainly going, this is a very Tasha Yar moment where I got to say goodbye to everybody, even though I had been killed instantly. Being able to say goodbye, to put because if Gideon had just died, it would have been harsh. But you're right. I think all 4 of the other characters would have been totally different in episode 71 had that final goodbye not happened. What I really love is we've seen a little bit of 71. We've had 71 drop on Wednesday, so there's we know a little bit of what some of these characters are going through. We'll see it a little bit more in future episodes. But I think it helped that Gideon got to say goodbye to everybody.
We like to give a lot of behind-the-scenes dips here on Plausible Deniability, and I want to go back to the Tasha Yar hologram. It could also look like the Tony Stark hologram as he's saying goodbye to his friends and family at the end of Endgame. Oops, sorry, Poppy. I just spoiled that movie for her.
It's her own fault.
But no, I remember recording the next episode, and the big thing with Gideon's speech about leadership and looking to Zonimus and looking to Poppy, and it was there's a crutch that I leaned on, that Johnny leaned on every episode, and it was Ash exposition bringing us in to the episode, and then when they were done, if it wasn't a moment where Zonimus and Poppy were being snarky with each other, or a moment involving Wiley, it was silence until you spoke.
Right.
And in the very next episode, Ash brings us in, and I couldn't look up. I was like, Michael's not going to say anything. There's no Michael. There's no Gideon. It has to be me or Poppy. And it was just it was very contrasting. It was very art imitating life, imitating art. I loved it. It was great. It was really good stuff. But we realized how much we leaned on that character. I know you're going to come back to play a pixie bard. Spoilers, everyone.
That's a good question.
But we leaned hard on that Gideon character. But
pixie bard, singing cowboy bard. I think that'd be so much fun. Yes, that's my next.
Wait, okay. You've got that indicates you've got ideas in your head. What? Give us a teaser. We've been talking serious for a moment. What are some possibilities?
One of my original characters I was thinking before I even thought of Gideon was to do, because we were going to do Red Dirt D&D. We were going to do it in Oklahoma. The idea was that it's Oklahoma, D&D,
Geometry.
fantasy, but before statehood, all this kind of stuff. So I thought, I'm going to be a singing cowboy. I'm going to be a glamour bard, college glamour bard, singing cowboy. From the East, all in white with a big white cowboy hat, all in rhinestones, singing horrible cowboy songs.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, and I was thinking, okay, I'll just have to go through all these old country songs and learn a whole bunch of them. Then we realized this was going to be a little bit more serious. We wanted to go away from a lot of actual plays, are more tongue-in-cheek, and so we wanted to go away from that. We wanted to actually tell a real story. So that character got sidelined until we get to a more goofy campaign.
Although I would love to play a fighter based on Sylvester Stallone's character in Rhinestone.
Yes.
With him and Dolly Parton. Where he's the Brooklyn taxi driver trying to be the cowboy. Boy, we just dated ourselves there.
Yeah.
I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I just have to point out one thing in the chat. Buster Scruggs, someone mentions. So
right, yeah, good on. Chat, we're not ignoring you. Those of you who are coming in late are usually here on Thursday nights. We're just taking advantage of the rare opportunity of having Michael Cross on the show. He's so famous. We had to keep him in a hotel 3 blocks away, and we sent a limousine to pick him up, but secretly we got him in the back of an SUV from the back of the hotel kitchen door, so people would be tricked, no autographs and stuff. But we're going to get to your questions here probably in about the next 5 minutes. We're going to jump into the chat and go full-blown interaction with that, mostly because Poppy's asked a great question that I've noticed I want to answer. But Michael, I have a question for Michael and Brooke here. Michael, do you have a D20? And Brooke, do you have the reincarnation chart?
Oh, I can find that in a hot minute.
I don't think I have my D.
What kind of D&D player are you, man? This is the spotlight. I put you on the hot seat. I put Brooke in the hot seat all the time. Like, did you know Brooke's in a motorcycle gang?
It happens.
Now, they've been out of business for a while since the laws changed, but Brooke didn't run guns, and he didn't smuggle drugs. Brooke went to Texas and got 6-point beer back in the day. That was his crime.
Yeah.
He was a rebel.
Occasionally, I would run it all the way over to Tennessee. Eastbound and down.
Are you from Tennessee?
So what they say can be done.
Speaking of beer,
we got along. What? Oh, what is that?
Glazed donut from Vanessa House and Red Rock. Glazed donut.
Now, I don't know. The glazed donut beer must be affecting Johnny because it's not a D20, it's a D100 is what
That's what I thought too.
Oh, right. D100.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I haven't died recently.
Ow!
I probably will now.
You know what I have?
Message for yourself.
Do you have the old school sand-filled D100? Yes, you do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because you are a real gamer.
I have, ladies and gentlemen.
Brooke, you have the chart up?
I have a chart.
All right, I'm running OBS, so you have to run the chart.
Okay.
Well, hopefully this won't roll completely off. It's trying to make a little long. Unfortunately, these things roll forever. This is basically just a golf ball.
It's like swish around your hands and set it down.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. 16.
That is a mountain dwarf.
Oh no!
That would be hilarious. Is Mockern a mountain dwarf?
Mockern is a mountain dwarf.
Oh boy,
that would have been fantastic.
Now, the best part would be listening to you two speak to each other in Dwarven.
Yeah.
Hello, Mockern. How are you this evening?
No,
I'm doing well, thank you.
Forsooth, I am doing well, my comrade.
My first words would be looked at Mockern and looking Mockern right in the eye and going, "Son of a,
son of an orc."
I'm short. I pride myself on being tall.
Oh, right, you did. Gideon was tall.
Gideon's consciousness inside the dwarf. Oh, yes.
You understand, I'm only 5'9", so since I was young, all of my characters have been tall. My son, who's like 6'3", has no problem playing short characters. I hate playing short characters. I want to play a tall character because I'm short. So if I were to have to be forced to play a short person, but here's the real twist. After it was all over, and I decided, no, I'm going to go home. I'm not going to do this. That's when Ash dropped the bomb that they probably would have made it a DM's choice, and I would have come back as an Aasimar.
Aasimar of Daga.
I could have had wings.
Like
I
a
could
true,
have had wings.
Like a true servant. Oh my goodness! Wow.
That would have went along too with Daga. That first time you took a little nap in the dirt, and Daga commanded you to get up and get back in the fight. That would have went along with that really well, and the whole, you obviously need some help. Your fight's not over. Get up and take this and go, you know.
Yeah. I would have been a fallen Aasimar, which would have been totally cool.
But then you would have wandered for the rest of eternity.
There's no way that character would have made that choice.
Nope.
You could have been friends with my holiday special Aasimar cleric.
Yeah. But now I think people. I hope that people will be excited about the next character.
So you're saying not a rhinestone cowboy?
Not gonna be right. I also thought about doing, especially the new Drake Warden Ranger is out, which would have been really cool, especially in our world. I was thinking about another type of ranger, like the Gloomstalker Ranger. There's been a couple of thoughts about.
You build your ranger the right way, and you're a one-shot machine.
Oh yeah. My only problem, my Gloomstalker Ranger was becoming a little bit more of a. What do you call this? The when you're all moody and the something Lord. What is that called? Somebody out there knows that.
Yes.
The
Lord of. It's not a Doom Lord. It's not a
Edgelord.
No. Someone in the chat knows.
Yeah, it's not Dark Lord. It's somebody who's moody and always kind of just
an Edgelord.
Edgelord. That's the word. He was the way I was designing was very Edgelord.
Nicely done, that one guy.
And after I realized that that's the last thing we need in this party, because basically it would have been the replacement for Zonimus. And
why would you replace me?
Because you've now moved up to Gideon Block. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I think Edgelord. I think that. The character that's going to come in, I think that everyone's going to enjoy. Although it did not Kiri slash Poppy for a loop, so and that's a little bit of a spoiler for future episodes. The worst thing is the fact that what I missed the most is the relationship that I had as Gideon with all of you. I've lost that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was going to happen with any character that I brought.
True.
Yeah.
We don't. Brooke knows who you are, but Mokrin doesn't know who the new person is at all.
Yeah.
And that because I built a relationship with everybody for 70 episodes, and regardless of who I choose to come in as for the next character, that relationship's gone, and that hurts. That hurts probably more than anything else. Usually when you play a character that dies in a movie or a stage show, you're just done. But to come back as a new character that has a totally different relationship with people, that has to then rebuild relationships, that was not easy. The relationship that Mokrin and Zonimus and Connor and Poppy and I built was special, and that's gone.
Yep. I mean, Zonimus went from wanting to kill you to would take your place. Would trade places with you. I mean,
would as it would be brothers.
Yeah.
So
since we're on the subject of
moment with the badge,
since we're on the subject of me, Zonimus has your badge. That's very changing and telling. Unless you have something really profound to say, I want to take it to the chat.
Let's take it.
This is Brooke's favorite section. Poppy asked a question that I want to get out of the way.
There's a way to get this thing out of here. How do I take the chat out of the sidebar and move it?
There's a button that says pop out. If you go down to the bottom and hit the things with the dill to get more, you can pop out the chat. while you're looking for that.
How about that? Fabulous.
All right. So Ginger Halfling asked a question: if this had been Brooke or Zonimus with the finger of death, is what I call Power Word Kill, how would we have handled the events of episode 70? Brooke?
So, can I do Anonymous and say I know, but I don't want to say?
Yes.
Like I do. Once that happened, I started, and that whole moment of Dusk saying you're going to wander, right?
Right.
And the reason why I'm pausing is because there's something that comes up in a soon to be released episode that I think is a huge clue about what Makran might choose, and I just kind of want to leave that out there and let people discover that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, me being me and liking the sound of my own voice, I'm not going to default to the "I'm not telling you" answer. So Zonimus's burden is that anyone that he cares about so much that he would make that shift is still here.
Yeah.
And the hard part of that is he's so estranged or so hidden or so lost to these people, and they're here. He doesn't have to be. It's not because they're in a realm he can't get to. It's not because they're in a place he can't touch. They're here. So he would stay here to be with them in hopes that if he mended it, then while he spends eternity wondering, they can spend eternity watching him.
Yeah.
And then if not, then he's relieved of that burden anyways. But
even if it wasn't the people, I think Zonimus would come back for, if nothing else, vengeance.
Right. The first person that will be in the first person that will be in the other world that Zonimus might miss, hopefully, is Wiley Smokes Moran. You son of a bitch.
And he'll be a better world. He doesn't mind wandering the rest of the world as long as Wiley can go to the other one.
Right? Yeah. I'll stay in purgatory if you can go to hell, you son of a bitch.
Just fine as long as you're not in it. Yeah.
Right. Brooke, you got some notes there?
If we'd gotten to that point where Makran had said, I just don't know what I'm going to do, Makran, get back here now.
Oh, the voice. The voice, they heard him. There he is.
Makran, get your ass back in here. You're not leaving yet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And with good old Paladin Pulse. Boom.
Yes.
Lay on hands. That'd be awesome. Oh, so this is a great thing. So, Blazing. Go.
Before you say that, because Poppy actually says Poppy would come back. She would hate never seeing Gideon again, but she feels like she needs to do the great things that Gideon and Zonimus have tasked her to do. She would become a protector of the frontier and dismantle the T-Mafia.
The T-Mafia.
That's the hard part too, is that sharing with Gideon of Poppy's crumble the mountains, flood the valley, break the world to save us all thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyway, go on with your next question.
So a Blazing Aiden says, when do we get to have the Gideon prequel with the detective days? I want to know how he went from detective to paladin. That's a fantastic question. We need a Gideon, meanwhile in Venturis or something. I don't know. That'd be awesome.
See, you're right. And actually, he just basically he was an alcoholic. He was, again, that noir type of detective. He was always drinking but still solving cases. Quite definitely a functioning alcoholic, and then just went on an absolute bender, and found himself at the steps of the cathedral to Daga. And the priestesses brought him back to health, and then basically sat him down and said, this is not who you are. You are made for more than this. And so, although he was a paladin of Daga, he was just basically sent out to, and the only way to do that was to get away from the world. So he became a paladin. He basically, the night before, he went in to go talk to your uncle.
Yeah.
That's what
Jacoby Blackhands.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
that's really cool. Spin-off podcast, Kinder Thulu is calling for it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Michael, I have a question for you. If given the opportunity to make your new character, okay, if instead of going with a one-eyed fey pirate bard, you were told you can take any NPC in this game and bring it to life as a PC, who would you pick? Who would you pick, and why would it be Jubilee?
No, it would not be Jubilee. It would be my sister.
Dibs on Jubilee. But yeah, who would you pick?
My sister.
Oh my gosh! Whoa! Not. Oh my god! Ash is gonna kill me. Not Tiny Dancer.
No, it's Tiny Dancer. It is now forever Tiny Dancer.
From now on, it is Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer.
Wild Dancer.
Wild Heart Who Returns.
Flash Dancer.
Dancing Heart.
And now on the heart stage is Tiny Dancer.
No, in fact, actually, I thought, because we did it, I thought about, okay, well, I had gone through that thought in my head. Well, sometimes it's better to have a player play an NPC. That way you don't have to introduce an audience to someone new. And I thought if that had happened, because then Dancing Heart could take over the mantle of Gideon. Maybe not as a paladin, but she would still have the Thunderstep. That so that's if I had to choose, it would be her. That's who I would come back at.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. That might be the two big questions from the chat.
Well,
I think a lot got answered in the talk. Yeah.
Do we have Texan here?
You want to text me?
Yes. The Texan.
The Texans' comments. Can you find those, bro?
Oh,
you betcha.
The Texan.
He made a comment in our Discord.
The Texan.
Yes.
About broke my heart. Can you find that and let everyone know?
I can indeed find
it. The Texan is a native of Nebraska, but living in Kansas, who tells everyone he's from New Mexico. Yeah.
You want me to say it for him?
Yes.
A star leaves the desert to join the sky. We shall not see his like again.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I think that was a sign off that I'm like, okay, I could deal with that. And I still there's still times when I'm like, did I make the right choice? Should I have done that? Yeah, copy and paste that one, Texan. That's definitely if I still I think, did I make the right choice? But yeah, Gideon's story had to end there, because Brooke said it best, was that if we were reading this in a book, when you turn the page after episode 70, it would say book 2, because and that's why I titled the next episode the next chapter, because that's what this is. It is everything has been leading to that moment, but we're only halfway through, and somebody had to die. I'm the Obi-Wan. I'm the let's list all the characters. What was Harry Potter?
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon
Jinn.
Yeah. Han Solo in the sequels. Killed by his son. I mean, and also you go into Dumbledore. It's that death that causes the catalyst for the rest of the story.
Dobby.
Oh, you guys are wonderful, and I don't like you.
Boromir. I went back to Sean Bean there, didn't I? You can say that stars in the sky all you want to, but I tell you what, that star feels really good right here on my chest under my jacket.
You do what that can do, right?
I do. I do, and I'm trying so hard to not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, once a day you get command, baby.
I had forgotten that.
Do you remember how, Brooke? Do you remember how I said something about I'm looking for a zone of truth?
Access
to command. The three of us need to talk later.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to crank out the PC chat. Just the PCs. We got to go.
No, we got 5 minutes. Go.
Dobby deserves it. I'm loving these comments. You guys get so much better comments than
Aiden's asking a question here.
No, it's because you're here is the reason why. That's fantastic.
So if Gideon
our chat is awesome. We love our chat.
If Gideon was to live past...
We have another question.
Yeah, if Gideon was to live past episode 70, what way do you think his character arc would go?
There's the other question. That's a great question because I don't know, and that's exactly and that's why I think, based off of the story, I think that this was his ending. I don't think he could have gone on.
Wow.
Well, let me do this. Let me twist up Poppy's other question. If Zonimus or Brooke would have died, what was Gideon's next arc, next step, next move, next attitude? If someone else, even Poppy, if someone besides Gideon, not necessarily the specific person, but if someone besides Gideon would have died, because Zonimus, honestly, we almost lost 2 characters because Zonimus almost bailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a possibility. I thought if Gideon didn't die, then Gideon could actually conceivably be heading toward being an Oathbreaker. That no longer I don't care about, kind of like where Grisani is right now, but not caring about his God at all, but saying, screw you, I'm doing my own thing, and vengeance.
Yeah.
Just absolute dark vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's interesting because in the chat there are people suggesting that he would keep the faith and then have a reward of marriage in old age.
Well,
I don't know if they know him better than, but that's really cool. That's a good divergence.
I'm saying if another character had died.
If another character died. Sorry.
That would have been I'm going to burn it all to the
100%.
ground.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially if it had been Poppy.
Yeah.
If it had been Poppy, I think every single person in the group would have.
We bring the world down.
TPK.
Yeah.
It would have been a TPK because we would have burned it all. Yeah.
And who cares? I don't care about dragons. I don't care about gods, goddesses. I burned it all to the ground. And so that's why I think Gideon was the only character that possibly could die. His arc was over. Although we didn't know at the time, and we certainly, it's interesting to think about that way, that his arc was truly over because there was nothing, he's had more to do, but not, did he have more to grow? Did he have, as far as character growth, did he have farther to go?
Oh, wow, that's a good way to think of that.
His story was over.
Yeah.
And it's time for everyone else to take that image of Gideon.
Yes.
And now make it. And I'm trying to think of there's an analogy in pop culture, but it's not coming to me yet. But just that idea of taking on what he embodied, everyone else is now embodying that. Like the way you guys signed off of the
I'm Gideon Block.
round table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just there was one moment I was too choked up to say anything. But what I really wanted to do was to have a Robin Williams moment at the end of Dead Poet Society, and where everyone's standing on the desk, and I just wanted to go, "Thank you, boys," and just walk out. That was how it felt. But I was too choked up to say.
We gotta get to video.
But yeah, the idea that everybody else now, he's made a mark on all of these people, and now it's time for him to go on, and I got to come back as someone new that upsets Poppy.
I'll tell you what, if Zonimus would have died, he would expect nothing short of Gideon finding the dirtiest glass he could find and filling it with the cheapest whiskey he could, and just holding it for like an hour and then pouring it out.
Oh, so by the way, in episode 71, you hand the flask over to Poppy. She says, "This is tea," and even Mokrin is what? It's tea.
Yeah.
Did no one know it was tea? Because I knew it was tea. How did I know it was tea and no one else knew it was tea?
I thought about that too. I'm like, is that exposition? Like I'm only saying it to Ash? Because I remember I said to Ash, I pour out the whiskey, I have Jubilee fill it with tea, and I go.
You were over at the counter at the bar doing that, and we were over here gathering stuff up.
Yeah.
It took that long for everyone to realize, okay, cool, I like it. It works.
So Mokrin and Poppy had no idea. Now Brooke thought it was hilarious.
But that's why I was drinking it in the Mesa.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was tea.
Right,
and that's why Mokrin was like, "Oh, this is bad. We're in big trouble now." I mean, he wasn't playing. He really thought we were in trouble.
When did Gideon learn?
Maybe as an alcoholic, you realize I didn't change when I drank, or I didn't change when I didn't drink out of it. Maybe.
Of course, I mean, I have a high perception, and I'm somewhat of a detective, so it's very possibly like. And also, when you drink, you don't notice it when you're drinking. You notice it when someone else is because they have a breath, because they smell like alcohol. And so, although because the Poppy and Mokrin are so much shorter, they probably didn't smell your breath. But I'm going, that's not
hey,
alcohol.
Poppy.
That's not. I'm not smelling whiskey or shiny moon. He must be drinking tea. Good for him. But I'm not going to say anything because that's his own personal choice.
Right.
Until we all start playing our poker game.
Oh, there's a reason.
Oh, I know, and I love it. And I love the fact that you've chosen that. That's I think it's wonderful, and even more so now that you're embodying Gideon.
I didn't even think about the next time we break out poker cards as characters. Oh God!
Well, I don't know if we will.
We can do that.
I don't know if we will. We'll break them out and then go. Oh.
I don't.
We'll break him out. We'll break him out in this one-eyed fairy gunslinging bar. It'll be like, can you deal me in? And we're like,
and we'll all be like, no.
Actually, never mind.
We'll be jerks. We'll be like, this is not a game for you.
I forgot all the aces were missing from this deck. Let's do something else. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cross. How close to turning into a pumpkin are you?
Well, actually, since I had a nap, I should be okay.
Okay, and it's not because it's putting night at the old folks' home, people. It's because he's in PR early in the morning.
Yeah, fortunately it's Friday, and let me tell you. I told Ash this when we were doing A&M, but Tuesday did A&M. Last night I did another little D&D thing that we might talk about later. Tonight doing this. Friday night we're finishing up Icewind Dale, and in this home brew game that I'm playing in. Mm-hmm. Saturday I run my own DM game. Sunday we're doing 5 hours of Red Dirt D&D. This has been a week. So
I can't tell if you're bragging. I feel like you're bragging because I'm a little jealous.
I love playing D&D. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. And so any opportunity to play the game, I'm all for it. So, and especially get to play with friends. Friends that I've known now for a year and a half, guys. We've known each other for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And
seems like ages.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
Oh,
we survived COVID, and
Yep. And you guys in the chat are the ones that are helping to make it happen. Thank you so much.
Play Crazy Eights now. Go and play Old Maid. Everybody pull out. Go fish. Everyone plays Go Fish.
You know, if any of you in the chat are on our Patreon, we have great conversations in our Discord.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The Texan shared some things from earlier. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That are there in the Discord. So good stuff. Shout out to T. Atchison, first time chat feller. Good to see you, man. I figured out who that was.
I figured you did. Yeah. All right.
A quick Johnny question. The Texan does want to know what brought about the tea instead of whiskey. Do you want to give a quick answer? A quick, like retro. Hey guys, you remember?
I'm trying to think of a way to say this. It's not too spoilery for what I have planned in my head because we all know how well that goes.
This is true. I think I know. This is true.
I'll just reach up and rub my arm that has that burn mark scar from years ago on it and say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, baby.
You'll see.
Woo! Okay.
It'll come around.
There's more to that.
Yeah.
Oh,
good question though.
That's a great question. It's a great question. You guys are just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Michael Cross, you are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you guys for asking me to be on the show. And,
Hey.
and you guys are welcome to ask me back. You guys are awesome.
I got one more question for you, a big one. Where exactly was the crossroads located where you, Michael Cross, made the deal with the demon to come up with such excellent music and sound effects and all this stuff for this show? Because I mean, I listen to them and they're kind of in the background and I catch it, but then those ones where it's like I'm in it, I'm focusing on it. Like I know I've mentioned this one more than once. The Johnny had COVID Zonima solo episodes when he's coming back from the coma. The bed springs.
Skrinky.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a searching. We get all of our sound effects from Monument Studios, from Tabletop Audio. They are incredible at just producing great things that, and I don't even think the bed springs were actually bed springs. They were something else. Sometimes you just get and you start listening and go, oh, that would work for that. So I have probably several gigabytes just of music and sound effects that I've got all labeled so that I can go in and quickly search for whatever I need as far as music, as far as sound effects. And even then, there's sometimes when a spell will happen, and I'm like, I don't have a sound for that. So I've got to go in and use some special effects and make it sound differently. So thank goodness for Adobe Audition because I can actually do all that stuff through there. But it is.
These shows wouldn't be half as good as they are if it wasn't for the sound, the time, the commitment that you put into that. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, demigod of Foley.
We knew we wanted to do that. We knew we wanted to sound like a classic radio show.
Right.
I work in radio, and
yeah.
You know, if you think about the old Prairie Home Companion, where they would have the sound effects along with whatever story they were telling, and that's really what we wanted to do. And I said that to Ash from the very beginning. I wanted to make sure it has music and sound effects. And of course, thank you so much to Jeffrey McBride for his music. It's powerful. It's powerful stuff, and I think it's why it's become so popular because other shows, other actual play episodes. Again, most of them are more comedy, more joking around, more Monty Python-esque. We try to take it more seriously and tell a good story with good sound effects, with good music that I think nobody else is doing right now. And so I think that's what's making it.
And then you did fantastic things in episode 70 in which the show ends differently than ever before, speaking of Jeffrey McBride, right?
Yeah, it's a song that he sang. He did right in the middle of the whole COVID thing, and it was absolutely gorgeous. You know, sing me a song, before you go, and if you sing to me, I wouldn't be the man I was without you, and if you sing to me, then I can let you go. I was like, that's how it's going to end. And my other big media moment was it reminded me of the ending of Doctor Who.
I knew you were going to say Doctor Who. I knew it.
When Adric dies at the end of Earthshock, anybody out there on the chat, remember this moment. Because Adric got blown up, and there was no way for the Doctor to go back and save him.
Fixed point.
His badge had been ripped apart as he tried to kill a Cyberman. And all I did, the camera focused on that badge, all crumbled up, and it just rolled credits.
Yeah.
No sound, no music.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I wanted. But you can't really do that in audio, so that's what I know. Dun, 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 dun. No outtakes, no nothing like that. So it was just Jeffrey singing us out.
And for those of you who are Patreon members, we have some really great outtakes coming and more discussion about the sound stuff in the extended roundtable.
Yeah.
So, hey, I know you've probably seen this already, but T. Atchison in the chat here has mentioned that he happened to listen to that episode on Veterans Day, and he's a veteran, and it was tough for him, but he also says thank you.
Yeah.
Because it was a great episode that your acting, the way you brought that out was just wonderful. So
yeah, we've had a lot of people talk about how this was emotional for them, and for some of them very cathartic. Which, if we can bring that out in our acting, that we can help people through their grief, through their moments, what they're going through, then we've told a great story. And the story's not over. The story's over for Gideon. But the story is certainly not over for these 4 companions, and hopefully, Gideon's not gone. His character's gone, but hopefully the idea is that his character lives on through the rest of these characters. And who knows? Maybe we will have a Gideon the White come back. I don't know.
I love that idea. Gideon the White.
You burned my guitar? That's it. I'm coming back to haunt you.
And you know what? And it's never sounded better.
In the afterlife, it's like, okay,
we already have one lich. We're not having any phylacteries. We're gonna burn the guitar. We're gonna.
It was the right choice, and you know it. No, that's not canon. That's not canon.
The chat room is going. Yeah, the chat room is gonna explode on you, Johnny. They're gonna be like, "You did what?"
Yeah, this whole WWGD.
So the Texan was asking earlier about why did Zonimus give up the gun, and then he just asked if Zonimus is going to pick up Gideon's gun. Zonimus got rid of the gun because the gun was a big representation of who he was when he ran with Smokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when he had his meeting with Sneaky Coyote and got other ranged abilities, alternative ranged options, he left the guns with Jubilee as a possible story seed somewhere down the road. Mm-hmm. But then Jubilee turned out to be, the sister of a madman, and I don't even, just whatever.
Yeah.
Woohoo! You could become a wand slinger.
Sure.
See my face? No. Yeah.
No soul cages.
No spoilers for Zonimus's thoughts on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so everybody, the new episode is going to be 71. And okay, here we go. You will have my new character. Will be there. Episode 72. I know you all been wondering who it's going to be. So next Wednesday, unless here's a little secret. Unless you're a patron, if you're a member of our Patreon, you get that on Sunday. Sunday. So, my new character on Sunday.
So Sunday you could see that little red and green with the golden wings flying around doing its bard magic fairy
with the little tiny guitar.
Okay. Spoiler alert! It's not a fairy bard.
We need something beefy. He's gonna come as an awakened Auron.
Right. It's not a fairy bard, but I can't wait until No, next week's Thanksgiving. I can't wait until we can talk about what it is on the show. It'll be great. Yeah. Not a fairy bard.
After Thanksgiving, you talk about the new character.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes. We'll be back, whenever that is, December 2nd? December 2nd, I think. We'll be back December 2nd. We're going to give Michael Cross the keys to his hotel room so he can leave and go back home. If he commits to another date, we'll do that off air. And because you got to come back, man. This was awesome.
Yeah.
This is great. We got the crew together. We could actually just talk for days.
Oh yeah, you gotta come back when the episode has no theme, no plot, no point, no subject, and just hang out. You know, like every other episode we've done.
I can do that. We'll just find something to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, we do. Yeah, we will for sure. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah, I think the three of us could talk for hours. We'll have to start early some Saturday morning.
I know, exactly.
That's next year's Extra Life, is the three of us just sitting around talking about D&D.
No, Kiri can't join until she watches the Star Wars movies. Anyway.
We also, we can talk about old classics, sci-fi and fantasy.
Wheel of Time starts tomorrow.
What?
Amazon has turned Wheel of Time into a TV series.
I know.
Starts
Let me know
tomorrow.
if it's any good, then I might watch it.
Star Trek Discovery just launched its 4th season.
I already
watched that
watched
tonight
it.
with my wife.
I watched
I'm behind, but I'm going to catch up.
So good.
Really good.
So good.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
we can talk
Yeah,
about anything.
it's cool. All right, are we wrapping this up, Mr.
Together,
Cross?
they can do anything.
That's it. I love you guys.
All
You're
right.
the best, man.
Chat, thank you very much. This has been a pleasure. Our special guest, Michael Cross, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him.
Woo!
Also, ladies and gentlemen, as always, Brooke Bullock.
And that's the Johnny Payne.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right. We're going to the fun part now where I count down to stopping the stream. Here it goes.
I like
3,
it. 5,
2,
3.
4,
Doing now?
3,
1.
5.